There are a couple decisions being made right now in the altcoin market that I believe are going to dictate the future of the altcoin market, not only for the next couple days or the next couple weeks, but likely the next couple months. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly what these decisions are that you need to be paying attention to and exactly what I'm doing right now in order to prepare for those decisions that are being made. So we have a good bit to get into today. So if you do enjoy the video, do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you've been enjoying all the content recently. And let's talk about what is going on. So what we can see is that the altcoin market is absolutely flying over the last 24 hours. We're seeing things like Pingu, Aave, Gala, ARB, and many more up as high as 20%, which is absolutely crazy for the top 100. Now, sure, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback for some of these ones over the last 4 or 5 hours. But again, that's just a retracement. This altcoin market is absolutely crushing it. And it's as a result of what we saw yesterday from Jerome Powell. Now, I did talk about this in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But the reason we're seeing the altcoin market pumping like this is simply just because, of course, Jerome Powell came out and said, yeah, we may need to cut rates or shift economic policy sometime in the near future. And as a result of this, investors thought, okay, well, that would inject a ton of liquidity into not only just the economy, but most major asset classes, which will put us in more of a risk-on environment. And so as a result, they started buying risk-on assets like crypto, individual stocks, and many more. And so at this given point, I mean, all the stars are aligning. You have the possible economic policy shift that will allow for liquidity to be injected into risk-on assets, and so the altcoins start going up. It makes perfect sense. And I talk about it more in yesterday's video, so go check that out. But as this pump is happening, it's forcing the altcoin market to prepare to make some massive decisions. And those decisions are what are really going to make the difference. Sure, Jerome Powell is making a big impact, but these decisions that we're about to talk about, that's where the real impact will come from. And that's what I want to focus on today.
Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I did want to talk to all of you who want to access your crypto portfolio's liquidity without having to sell your crypto. If that's you, I want you to head to the link down below and check out our channel sponsor, CoinRabbit. They have new features that they've recently released, one of which being the loan feature. And what this allows you to do is to get instant access to your funds against your crypto. Now, obviously, loans can have risks, so please be careful and only do this if you know what I'm talking about here. But theirs is absolutely phenomenal. What you can see here is that they have the option to be able to borrow with many different forms of collateral like StarkNet, Bitcoin, ETH, Tether, Flare, and many more. And this can be applied to many people, right? People who are just looking to buy more crypto or optimize taxes or make a huge purchase, invest in businesses, whatever it may be. It is extremely simple and it can take less than 15 minutes to get this entire process started. And so if this does seem interesting to you, I'm going to leave the link to CoinRabbit in the description down below. Feel free to go ahead and check them out if that does seem like something you want to get involved with. And without further ado, let's continue on with the video.
So as I mentioned before, there are some massive decisions being made as a result of this pump. So let's now talk about what exactly those decisions are and what I'm doing to prepare for those decisions. So the first major decision is what we are seeing from Bitcoin dominance. This is, I mean, bigger than most people can even fathom. Bitcoin dominance price has absolutely nuked all the way back down to the macro golden zone, which you all know, if you watch this channel, is absolutely massive. Now, if you don't know what Bitcoin dominance itself is, Bitcoin dominance is simply just a measurement of the control that Bitcoin has over the total market. And the way that they do this measurement is by taking the ratio of the total market cap that is controlled by Bitcoin. So hypothetically, if the total market cap of crypto as a whole was $100 and Bitcoin's market cap was $50, Bitcoin dominance would be 50%. Or let's say, for example, if the total market cap of crypto was $100 and Bitcoin's market cap was $75, Bitcoin dominance would be 75%. Again, it's just a ratio of the total market cap controlled by Bitcoin. Now, the reason it's so important to track that, though, is because you can clearly see what's winning. Is Bitcoin gaining more control over the market and owning more of the market cap, or are altcoins? And so when Bitcoin dominance starts going down, especially like this, it's a huge sign for the altcoin market that we could be entering into what many people consider an altcoin season. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't particularly believe that we're going to see a 2021 altcoin season anytime soon. I think that was a very rare, maybe even once in a lifetime moment where everyone was just given thousands of dollars. We're not really seeing that right now. But I do believe altcoin seasons fundamentally exist in this world. And I believe that's just a period in time where altcoins are dramatically outperforming Bitcoin and performing very well. A mini altcoin season was like what we saw in November and December of 2024. So sure, I do believe altcoin seasons exist, just not in the same way that many people say. But all in all, when Bitcoin dominance starts nuking like this, it's a huge huge sign for altcoin holders. Now, as I mentioned before, though, there's a massive decision about to be made for the altcoin market, and it all lies right here at this golden Fibonacci zone. This golden zone between 58.7% on Bitcoin dominance and 56.8% is going to tell us everything we need to know about what is really happening here in the altcoin market. If we see the altcoin market, and let's just say Bitcoin dominance to go forward, if we see Bitcoin dominance fall below this golden zone, it opens up the door for absolutely mass capitulation for the Bitcoin dominance chart, which could bring this thing down all the way back to 48%, one of the lowest levels that it's been to since September of 2023. That, I just don't know if you guys quite grasp how big that is, but that would imply that the altcoin market is absolutely decimating Bitcoin in terms of gains. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin's not going up. It just means that Bitcoin's going up and altcoins are going up a lot more. That would imply that a drawback for Bitcoin dominance of a total of 21 to 26% could be on the way as a total. Guys, the last time that we saw a drawback even close to that was well back here when we saw the beginning of the real altcoin season of 2021 start back here. We have not seen a drawback for Bitcoin dominance like that since. And do I think that we're going to see Bitcoin dominance do this and go into as big of an altcoin season as we saw in 2021? No. But could we see some sort of drawback for Bitcoin dominance that looks like this, and it's still a massive altcoin moment where we see some huge gains from the altcoin market? Absolutely. Because think about it. Think about the gains that we saw in the end of 2024, whenever we saw all the craziness after Trump got elected. Guys, that was just this. So think about what this could look like. That's big. That's really big. And so what I'm watching closer than ever is what happens here for Bitcoin dominance. Sure, maybe Bitcoin dominance does bounce a little bit here, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense. We're starting to see, of course, the altcoins performing well, meme coins performing well. Maybe liquidity does kind of reset a little bit and flow its way back to Bitcoin, pump Bitcoin's price up a little bit, or maybe the market pulls back and Bitcoin just pulls back less. And then, of course, Bitcoin dominance goes up. But I think even if it pumps off of this level, as long as we do enter into a more risk-on environment and institutions keep showing interest in altcoins, some move like this could be on the way. And remember, if Bitcoin dominance falls below 56.8%, that could open up the door of opportunity for a full Fibonacci breakdown to 48 or 51%, which would put us in a massive move, a massive moment for the altcoin market. So that's the first big decision. That's like the big main thing I'm paying attention to. The second smaller thing that I'm paying attention to is whether or not Ethereum can break through that red box we talked about in yesterday's video. What we've come to recognize is that Ethereum still has a lot of control over the altcoin market, something that actually surprised me a little bit. And what we can see is that Ethereum is still running into some resistance here at this red box, which ends at $5,000. Makes sense. It's the previous all-time high, right? And so the second smaller thing that I'm looking out for right now is, can ETH break this red box? If ETH can break this red box, it opens up the door, guys. It opens up the door for ETH to make a full Fibonacci extension to what could be up to $7,700, if not $14,000. And I know these are crazy big numbers. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the Fibonacci say. And the Fibonacci say that if Ethereum's price can break above the red box at $5,000, the door to $7,700 and possibly as high as $14,000 could be open. And that's what the altcoin market's going to need. The altcoin market's going to need a move like that, like ETH getting up to $7,700 in order to break Bitcoin dominance through this move, right? It's going to need ETH to get that move going. And so you need to be watching these two kind of in congruency with each other. Can ETH break the red box, and can that trigger the move that'll get us through this golden zone? Because if so, that quote-unquote altcoin season everyone's been hoping for, even though I don't think it'll be the same, something could be on the way. Some juicy gains could be on the way. So what am I doing as a result of this? I'm doing 5 things. Okay, I'm doing 5 things. I believe that we are already in some sort of smaller-ish altcoin season. Not the full thing. I mean, look at altcoin season index. It's been climbing, but it's not all the way up, right? It's not all the way up here like it was last year. But I think we are clearly starting to work towards getting towards some sort of altcoin season, in my opinion. Okay. And so as a result of that, now that we're in a bit more of a risk-on environment, especially if we do see the nothing contradicting come out from the Fed, these are the 5 things that I'm doing. I'm cleaning up the junk, and I'll explain each one in a second, but I'm cleaning up the junk. I'm paying more attention to micros. I'm doing extra due diligence. I'm scanning for new narratives, and I'm taking profits hard. Let's break down each one of these. So the first thing, I'm cleaning up the junk. Listen, I know some of you are not going to like this, but those bags that you have that are showing no life, no momentum, no volume, most of them are not sleeping giants. They're not, oh, well, this one's going to gain its traction eventually. No, if that thing's volume has fallen below $100,000 a day or $50,000 a day, it's just dead. If they've not been posting on Twitter, if their team's not making moves, if the community's not growing, if the community's not even talking, the crypto is dead. Cut the losses, call it a day. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a random dude sitting in a hotel room on a MacBook that anyone could buy. So I'm not here. I have no credibility to say for you to do anything. But what I do know is most of these altcoins that have not been doing anything are just dead. They're just dead. Now, the top 10, top 100, top 200, a little bit different. Some of them are sleeping giants. But those smaller ones are dead. So what am I going to do? Just going to clean up the junk. I'd rather, close down 15 of those junk trades or junk buys that I had and put all of that into one that's really performing well, one that really has some opportunity. That's what I would rather do. So I'm going into my portfolio, cleaning out the junk. Okay. The second thing, you got to pay more attention to your micros. If you're invested in things under $50 million in market cap, you have to pay more attention because this is when the volatility hits. Teams do good, teams break up, rug pulls happen, things get weird. Okay. So you can't just buy small stuff and not pay attention to it. In periods like this, where it's a little bit more risk on and more exciting, you have to pay more attention because changes happen fast and you need to know whether or not it impacts your core fundamental thesis as to why you bought that microcap. Okay. So you got to pay more attention. You have to do extra due diligence. There's going to be a lot of fluff and a lot of bullshit, honestly, going on all over the market. People saying they do this, saying they do that, but they offer no substance. They have no value. There is no use case, no utility. It's just a bunch of words in a community that's overexcited because they're greedy, just like everybody else, me included, right? No, you have to do your due diligence. Does this thing you're buying actually do what it says it does or not? Have they actually completed their audits? Don't just look on their website and see it says 2 audits. No. Click it and go read it. Go see if they've actually done the things they're saying they've done. And if they're doing the things they say they're going to do, that is going to help protect you from all the BS that's going to fluctuate and float through this market. You need to scan for new narratives. Remember, every single run, there are new narratives. And every single time a new narrative pops off, the best gains are found in that narrative. So be on the lookout for those new narratives. And of course, I'll be here updating you if I see any coming up. And last but not least, you got to take some damn profits off the table. You don't get risk on periods often. They don't last very long. It could last till tomorrow. So if you have bags that are 50%, 100%, 200%, take some profit off the table. How many times do you have to learn this lesson? Okay, you went through 2021, 2022, 23, 24, and 25 now, having made some gains, lost those gains because you married your bags and didn't take profits. Take some profit off the table. No one has ever gone broke taking profit. And it doesn't mean you're abandoning your bag. It doesn't mean you're giving up on the community or none of that nonsense that people say. You are rewarding yourself for your hard work. So take some profits off the table. And so with that in mind, that's what I'm doing. The biggest one that I'm doing right now is taking profits and paying more attention to my micros. You guys know I've recently bought some micros and they're all performing exceptionally well. Inspect is one I told you all about way back here, right whenever this thing was around 0.0274, currently up around the 0.033 level, up 30% in the last 1 month. Stable, very stable, looking very good, which of course we do like to see. Qubit, this is another one that's performing very, very well, especially over the last month. Not gaining a lot of traction yet, but stabilizing exceptionally well, slowly trending upwards, coming off of this low as 7,486. It's all the way back up around the 10 level, up around 40% from just those lows back then. A little bit of a pullback off that, but stabilizing extremely well. Volume is still staying pretty stable, all of which is a very good sign. Go look at Coral. Coral is another one. I made a video about this thing like a week ago, right whenever it was back here at the 1255 level. I told you about this at $12 million in market cap. Look what happened. The thing absolutely took off, pulled back, stabilized, trending upwards, currently around 1865, performing insanely well. And you know what I'm doing? All of these things that I bought, Inspect, Qubit, Coral, I'm watching them very closely. I'm looking for changes for the positive or for the negative. And then I'm allowing that to alter my thesis depending on if that thing, that change was positive or negative. That's what you have to be doing. In moments like this, especially if we are going into an altcoin season, guys, you have to be willing to spend more time. You got to take a little bit of time away from the family. You got to take a little bit of time away from your hobbies, and you need to lock in a little bit because these moments don't last very long. And if you capitalize on them correctly, they can give you much more free time in the future Trust me on that, okay? And so that's where we are with the majority of this altcoin market. And the biggest decision that you need to be watching right now is what happens with Bitcoin dominance. Can ETH break the red box? And can that cause the move through the golden zone, which will open up insane doors of opportunity for the altcoin market? So, of course, as per usual, guys, I will be here every step of the way with you. So if you guys have been enjoying the content, don't forget to smash that like button. And while you are down there, don't forget, check out the link to BTCC. 2 of you are going to get $250 from this giveaway by just signing up, depositing, and doing some trading. And for the rest of you, you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses with that link down below, which also comes with lower trading fees. So if you're trading any altcoins or Bitcoin or anything right now, check out BTCC. Go download that. And don't forget to go check out our sponsor, CoinRabbit, which I will link down below. But all in all, of course, I hope you guys have been enjoying this moment. I just want to tell you, these moments where things are up, you need to enjoy them because many of you know they don't last long, okay? Take some profits, enjoy it, lock in. I'll see you soon. Peace.